Coming to you from an undisclosed location, somewhere deep in the heart of Norman, Oklahoma. I'm your intrepid host, L.A. Marzulli. I have people here that we meet that come up and want to tell us stories, and they'll tell me a story. And sometimes I'll go, will you come on the record? Most people say yes. We have 4 people today, and we're going to be recording them and then showing you their experiences. But first, a word from our trusted sponsor. Gold has gone mainstream. You're seeing it everywhere, and prices keep climbing. Every day, more and more Americans are catching on to the power of gold. But how do you actually take advantage of it? How do you invest in a way that's safe, simple, and built for the long run? That's where Noble Gold Investments comes in. Noble Gold specialists are trained to help investors like you go from confused to confident, from wondering what's next to knowing exactly what to do. Whether you're looking to roll over an old 401k into a gold IRA, or you want physical coins and bars delivered right to your home, Noble Gold makes the process simple, safe, and stress-free. You'll get step-by-step guidance, transparent pricing, and U.S.-based service from a team that's handled over $2.5 billion in precious metal transactions. With Noble Gold Investments, protecting and growing your wealth isn't just their job, it's their commitment. Visit noblegoldinvestments.com today to claim your free wealth protection kit. That's noblegoldinvestments.com. Noble Gold, helping you build a stronger future. Folks, Peggy and I invested in it several years ago. It has gone through the roof, and I don't think it's going to stop yet. Remember, folks, there's always a risk with any type of financial investment. Take a look at what Noble Gold has to offer. Peggy and I did it several years ago. I'm really glad we did. It's hovering right around 4,000. Who knows where this thing is going to go? So, noblegoldinvestments.com, noblegoldinvestments.com. Annette, thanks so much for joining me today here in our little makeshift studio. And I want to thank everybody at Prophecy Watchers. It's just been a great time in the Lord just to be with everybody, our tribe, and it's really been a hoot. And today is Saturday, one more day tomorrow, and then we all go our separate ways until he takes us home, but we'll see. So something happened to you. Tell us about it.
Well, I grew up in Southern California, but my dad retired young, and his brother wanted him to move back to Iowa, raising cattle. And so I started going to a church there. By this time, I was about 18. And so the youth group that I was in was basically 17 to 22. And one of the young men in the group, his grandfather lived about 5 miles east of the town where he was living with his parents in Afton, Iowa. And one day, the grandfather called Russell's parents and said, "You got to come right away." And so they went over there, and raising cattle, he would check on his cattle, of course, every day.
Yes, absolutely.
And he took them out to an area on the farm in the pasture, and there was 2 dead cows there. And they looked, Russell said, like they had been there for weeks. They were sunken in and just distorted and things missing. And they didn't know if an animal had gotten in there or what, but it didn't look like that. And so they called the sheriff. Sheriff came out and he says, "Well, this just looks really strange." And he called someone, I don't know who, and they came out. And I guess the family went back to the house or whatever, and they took those 2 dead cows. Oh, one thing was, around those 2 dead cows was a circle that had been burnt, like it was burnt, like the grass. Well, it's a pasture. Of course, there's going to be grass there. And so everybody went home. Well, the next day, these men came back to the farm and basically told the grandfather not to tell anybody about that. Well, Russell, being a teenager, how they are, yapped and told the rest of us what had happened. And they never heard anything back because the grandfather wanted to know what the findings were. And he never heard anything except that he was told not to tell him.
What year is this?
I would say that was probably in the mid-1970s.
Let me just weigh in here, folks. In the 70s, the whole UFO phenomena, cattle mutilation phenomena, was kept down like this. So they're not men in black, but the government is all over this thing. They're not disclosing what's going on. And this is the proof of the pudding. Your grandfather was told, never talk about this. You didn't see anything, nothing here. And the fact that they kept him away from seeing his own cows is incredible. We have a film on cattle mutilations. We interviewed a gentleman, Rancher Miller, out in Colorado, who had 16 cows mutilated within 20 years. That's one every, 14 months or whatever. Unbelievable. And right in front, and this is all in the film, right in front of his ranch, 1,400 acres, there's a highway. I've been there, so I know what it looks like. The highway is dead straight, slight incline, very slight, no curves, no trees, no bumps, straight road. 12 fatalities within a mile. 12 fatalities in like 10 years. Statistically impossible. What are we looking at here? So in my opinion, the whole cattle mutilation, and we talk about this, they are creating artificial wombs. Bovine blood can be used interchangeably with human blood in a human transfusion. And they're taking parts of the cow and they're taking genetic material and constructing artificial wombs.
Well, I had heard that the cows and humans, there was kind of a similarity between their inside makeup. So,
well, the blood can be used in human transfusions. Most people don't know that. So there's definitely a correlation between the cattle mutilations, the abduction phenomena, and this is why the powers that be are all into it. Right now, you say, well, GLA, this is like really weird. Folks, this is the deep end of the pool. I totally get that. It's not for the faint of heart. However, what we need to remember is this phenomenon is real burgeoning, not going away. It's ongoing. A couple of years back, it went nationwide. 6 cows mutilated in Texas. It was nationwide. Usually they don't do that. Usually they keep it on the wraps, and it's a local paper only. That's it. This went national news. And I picked up on it instantly and went.
It was just strange. I know it really scared the grandfather.
Oh, it scares everybody.
To keep his mouth shut.
Well, everybody's terrified because, you don't know, what am I looking at here? I mean, Rancher Miller, I asked him on camera, between a scale of 1 to 10, what's the fear factor? And he kind of shuffled like, I guess it's about an 8, but that's, it's really a 10. And that you have any closing thoughts? Thanks so much for coming on the record.
No, it's just something that has always kind of been in my mind, what had happened. And of course, I moved here to Oklahoma, and so lost touch with them up in Iowa and just never heard anything. But I mean, after listening to you and being on Prophecy Watchers, we watch it every single week, and you talking about mutilations and different things, it just brought all that back to me. Oh, I remember. So, but it's, you say, well, did you see it? Did you see the cattle? No, I didn't. But, my friend, why would he lie? He's not lying. There is no reason to be making.
And he's not making anything.
And that was back in the 1970s. You didn't hear about things like that happening back then. So it was just real strange.
Thank you for coming on the record. God bless you. Appreciate your boldness. Yeah. Folks, UFOs are real burgeoning, not going away. We have 10 films. One film is dedicated to cattle mutilations. It's all interconnected. It's the deep end of the pool, and I understand that. And the cattle mutilation film is not for the faint of heart. If you have a problem with stuff like this, please don't watch it. And I'm not saying that. That's no hyperbole. It was the darkest film I've ever worked on. I was troubled by it. And the day it was over and we sent it off to the duplicator was a happy day. We don't have to work on the cattle mutilation film. But it's real, and it's happening to people that you know. And a lot of people never come on the record. Thanks so much for watching. Remember, we do a new show here every single day on our YouTube. Don't wait for YouTube. invite you and tell you that there's a new show. A new show there every single day. Consider becoming a member. Click the member button for a little less than $10 a month. You get membership-only content. You get 10% off on everything in the store. And, of course, our monthly news magazine. Thanks so much for watching. Remember, UFOs are real, burgeoning, not going away.
It is a beautiful day up here in the 49th state, so I thought I'd take advantage of this good weather window before the snow comes and get out here and look for some tracks and tree structures. If you're wondering about my shirt already, yep, I'm an L.A. Marzulli guy. So L.A. Marzulli, in case you don't know who he is an established author, commentator, and filmmaker. And we had him on the show about a year ago, and we got a lot of heat for that show. And the reason we got heat is because there's a lot of people in the Bigfoot research community that absolutely come unglued if you come from a biblical perspective, namely the Nephilim connection theory where it relates to Sasquatch. And they just come unglued about that. And we got heat. But they were really saying more about themselves than they were about us. So we appreciated that L.A. Marzulli took the time to come to our small podcast and talk to us about the alien phenomenon, as well as the Nephilim connection theory where it relates to Sasquatch. So we encourage you to go check out his website at lamarzulli.net. He's got a lot of great stuff over there. And yeah, in case you're not familiar with the Nephilim connection theory, look into it.
The late Russ Dizdar and I created the Nephilim Mounds conferences, and we had people like Gary Stearman there, Chief Joseph Rivlin, of course, Fritz Zimmerman. I mean, he's the guy that got me on the trail of a Nephilim, which resulted in 8 films, and number 9 is coming out soon. But guess what? Here's the Nephilim Mounds collection. There are hours and hours of presentations. Gary Stearman, Fritz Zimmerman, Chief Joseph Rivlin, yours truly, and others weigh in on the Nephilim. And you know what, folks? You can see right here of a great serpent now. Yeah, we believe that's Nephilim architecture, fallen angel technology. So for $60, you get all these DVDs here. It's absolutely incredible. There are 11 discs in this set, plus a bonus DVD, Watcher 6, The Secret Cosmic War. This is when we went to Peru. And with our guide, Brian Forrester, we learned and ventured to what we believe is fallen angel technology, Nephilim architecture, and it's pre-flood. Go to lamarzulli.com, lamarzulli.com. What are you waiting for? Avail yourself. There's so much teaching, so much good stuff in this 11-disc set. Plus, you get the bonus DVD. Thanks so much. We'll see you soon.